The money lay on the floor, silent and tempting. It was more money than Chinedu had ever touched in his whole life. No camera was watching. No customer was around. No voice was shouting his name. Only his heart was speaking. Take it, the money whispered. Return it, his soul answered. Chinedu bent down slowly, picked the envelope, and held it tight to his chest. That single choice would break him first. Then lift him so high that the man who betrayed him would bow his head in shame. Chinedu was a small boy from a poor part of Enugu. Not the Enugu people show on social media. Not the fine houses. Not the smooth roads. Chinedu lived where the walls were cracked and the roofs leaked when rain fell. Every morning, he woke up before the sun. He washed his face with cold water, wore his faded shirt, and said a short prayer. God, help me be good today. That was always his prayer. At 16, Chinedu worked in an electronics store at Ogbete Market. The name of the store was Okuri Electronics, owned by Mr. Ifunanya Okuri, a respected businessman in Enugu. The store sold televisions, phones, radios, fans, and speakers. It was always noisy. Customers shouted prices. Some insulted workers. Some accused them of cheating. But Chinedu never answered back. When customers shouted, he listened. When they insulted him, he stayed calm. When they were wrong, he explained gently. Sir, this phone battery is weak. Ma, this TV is not original. If you want, I can show you a better one. People noticed him. Old women trusted him. Young boys respected him. Men watched him closely. Chinedu was not smart because he went to school. He was smart because his heart was clean. That day did not start like a special day. It started like every other day in Enugu. The sun came up slowly. The air was warm. The sound of buses, horns, and traders filled the streets. Chinedu woke up before the first rooster crowed. He sat up on his thin mattress and rubbed his eyes. His room was small. The walls had cracks. His clothes hung on a nail. There was no mirror. No fan. No television. But Chinedu was used to it. He washed his face, brushed his teeth with a worn brush, and wore his clean but faded shirt. Before stepping out, he bowed his head. God, he whispered, please help me do the right thing today. He did not know how important that prayer would become. Okuri Electronics was already busy when Chinedu arrived. Generators roared. Music played from speakers. Customers moved in and out. Mr. Ifunanya Okuri stood near the counter, shouting instructions. Arrange those TVs well. Don't scratch the phones. Talk well to customers. Chinedu answered every order with respect. Yes, sir. I will do it, sir. He cleaned the glass shelves until they shined. He lined the phones in straight rows. He tested each device carefully before selling it. One woman complained loudly. This radio is not working. Chinedu checked it calmly. The problem was small. Ma, it is the battery, he said gently. Let me change it for you. The woman smiled. Thank you, my son. Moments like that made Chinedu proud. Not proud of money, but proud of being good. In the afternoon, the sun became hot. Mr. Okuri rushed in and out of the store. He was worried. He was talking on the phone, his voice tense. Chinedu was arranging cartons behind the counter when something soft touched his leg. He looked down. An envelope. Brown. Thick. Heavy. He bent and picked it up slowly. The envelope was open a little. He could see the edges of clean, fresh cash inside. His heart jumped. His hands began to shake. Chinedu knew immediately whose money it was. Mr. Okuri had been holding it minutes earlier. Chinedu stood still. Time seemed to stop. That money could change his life. He thought about his torn shoes. He thought about his empty kitchen at home. He thought about how people laughed at him because he was poor. No one saw, a voice whispered in his head. Just take small, another voice said. He looked around. Customers were busy. Workers were talking. No camera pointed his way. For the first time in his life, evil knocked softly on his heart. Chinedu closed his eyes. He remembered his mother's voice. Chinedu, no matter how hungry you are, never take what is not yours. His chest felt tight. He hugged the envelope to his chest and whispered, I will not steal. Each step toward Mr. Okuri felt heavy. His legs shook. His heart pounded. He found Mr. Okuri near the entrance, still on the phone. Chinedu waited respectfully. When the call ended, he spoke. Sir, you dropped something. Mr. Okuri turned. What is it? Chinedu stretched out the envelope with both hands. Mr. Okuri's eyes widened. He snatched it, opened it quickly, and counted the money. Once. Twice. Everything was there. Mr. Okuri looked at Chinedu for a long time. He did not speak. The noise of the market faded in that moment. Do you know how much money this is? He finally asked. Yes, sir, Chinedu answered softly. And you didn't take anything? No, sir. It is not mine. Mr. Okuri swallowed hard. In all his years of business, this had never happened. Mr. Okuri placed his hand on Chinedu's shoulder. You are a rare boy, he said slowly. Chinedu bowed his head. I was trained well, sir. From that day, something changed. Mr. Okuri trusted Chinedu more. He gave him keys. He left him in charge. He spoke proudly of him to others. But hidden beneath that praise was a future promise. A promise that would later break Chinedu's heart. After the money incident, nothing remained the same at Okuri Electronics. Before that day, Chinedu was just a shop boy. After that day, he became the trusted one. Mr. Ifeanyi Okuri began to watch him closely. When Mr. Okuri stepped out, he said, Chinedu, watch the shop. When customers asked questions, Mr. Okuri replied, Ask Chinedu. He knows. This new trust made Chinedu work even harder. But the real change came one quiet evening. The sun was already setting over Enugu. The market noise was dying slowly. Some shops were closing their doors. Okuri Electronics was still open. Chinedu, Mr. Okuri called. Yes, sir, Chinedu answered quickly. Come to my office. Chinedu wiped his hands on his trousers and followed him inside. The office was small but neat. A table. 2 chairs. A fan that made loud noise. Papers stacked in corners. Mr. Okuri sat down and looked at Chinedu carefully, like a man studying gold. Sit, he said. Chinedu sat, nervous. Do you know why I called you? Mr. Okuri asked. No, sir. Mr. Okuri leaned forward. I have run businesses for many years in Enugu, he began. I have seen boys come and go. Some steal. Some lie. Some destroy businesses. Chinedu listened quietly. But you, Mr. Okuri continued, pointing at him, you are different. Chinedu lowered his eyes. You returned money that could change your life, Mr. Okuri said. That is not common. Chinedu spoke softly. My mother taught me not to steal, sir. Mr. Okuri nodded slowly. That training will take you far. Then Mr. Okuri said words that made Chinedu's heart jump. Chinedu, he said, if you stay loyal to me, I will not forget you. Chinedu looked up. I will raise your salary, Mr. Okuri continued. I will train you fully in this business. One day, I will help you open your own electronics store here in Enugu. Chinedu's breath caught. Your own store, he whispered. Yes, Mr. Okuri said firmly. You will not work for me forever. Tears filled Chinedu's eyes. Thank you, sir, he said, his voice shaking. I will not disappoint you. That night, Chinedu walked home with a smile he could not hide. He imagined his own shop. A big signboard. Clean shelves. Customers calling him Oga. He imagined helping others, just like Mr. Okuri promised to help him. For the first time, Chinedu slept with hope. From that day, Chinedu gave the business his heart. He arrived earlier than everyone. He left later than everyone. He protected the store like it was his own child. When suppliers came, he treated them with respect. When customers tried to cheat the shop, he stopped them politely. When goods were faulty, he reported immediately. Some workers laughed at him. Why are you stressing yourself, they said. It is not your shop. Chinedu only smiled. They did not know about the promise. Customers began to ask for Chinedu by name. Where is Chinedu? I want Chinedu to attend to me. That boy does not lie. Old men nodded in approval. Young boys looked up to him. One old man, Pa Emikan Woy, watched quietly from a corner, saying nothing, but noticing everything. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the promise stayed only in words. No raise yet. No training yet. No talk of a shop yet. But Chinedu did not complain. He trusted. He believed. He waited. Not knowing that patience would soon turn into pain. After the promise, Chinedu changed. Not because he wanted praise. Not because he wanted people to clap for him. He changed because hope was now living inside him. Every morning in Enugu, before the streets fully woke up, Chinedu was already on his feet. While others were still sleeping, he was washing his face, ironing his shirt carefully, and preparing for work. He never rushed. He never complained. He never arrived late. When he reached Okuri Electronics, the shop was usually still locked. Chinedu would sit on a wooden bench outside and wait quietly, watching the street come alive. When Mr. Ifunanya Okuri arrived, Chinedu always greeted him first. Good morning, sir. Mr. Okuri nodded, sometimes smiling, sometimes too busy to respond. Chinedu did not mind. Inside the shop, Chinedu moved like a machine that never broke down. He cleaned the shelves until they shone. He wiped fingerprints from television screens. He checked phone batteries one by one. When new goods arrived, he carried heavy cartons until his back hurt. Sweat soaked his shirt, but he never dropped a carton or complained. Other workers rested. Chinedu kept moving. Customers tested him every day. Some shouted. Some insulted. Some accused him of lying. This phone is fake. You people are thieves. You want to cheat me. Chinedu listened calmly. Please, sir, he would say gently. Let me explain. If the customer was right, Chinedu apologized. If the customer was wrong, Chinedu explained patiently. Many times, he reduced the shop's profit just to be truthful. Mr. Okuri noticed. But he said nothing. One afternoon, a man tried to steal a phone. Chinedu saw it. He did not shout. He did not fight. He walked up to the man and spoke quietly. Sir, please return the phone. I don't want trouble. The man froze. Ashamed, he dropped the phone and walked away. Mr. Okuri was shocked. You saved my business, he said. Chinedu only smiled. Sometimes, Chinedu skipped meals to save transport money. Sometimes, he closed late and walked long distances home at night. His legs ached. His hands hurt. His eyes burned from stress. Still, he worked. At night, lying on his thin mattress, he whispered. God, I am waiting. Other workers laughed at him. Chinedu, are you the owner? Why are you killing yourself? Promises don't feed people. Chinedu kept quiet. They did not understand. Customers noticed his dedication. One of them was Pa Emikan Woy. The old man came often. He watched quietly. He spoke little. But he saw everything. Months passed. No raise. No shop. No progress. Still, Chinedu stayed loyal. But something was changing. Hope was slowly turning into pain. Waiting can be harder than working. Chinedu learned that truth slowly, day by day, in Enugu. At first, waiting felt easy. He told himself, good things take time. He remembered Mr. Ifeanyi Okori's words clearly. The promise still rang in his ears like a sweet song. One day, I will help you open your own electronics store. Those words gave him strength when his body was tired. But as weeks turned into months, the song began to fade. One afternoon, Chinedu gathered courage. Sir, he said gently, you remember what you told me about my future? Mr. Okori did not look up. Yes, he replied. I remember. When will it start, sir? Chinedu asked politely. Mr. Okori waved his hand. Not now. Business is slow. Maybe next month. Chinedu nodded. Thank you, sir. He went back to work with hope in his heart. Next month came. Nothing changed. Another month came. Still nothing. Each time Chinedu asked, Mr. Okori's answer was the same. Be patient. Not now. Soon. Chinedu never argued. He waited. Chinedu's body grew weaker. His hands developed small cuts from carrying cartons. His feet hurt from standing all day. Sometimes his stomach growled from hunger. Still, he smiled at customers. Still, he worked hard. At night, alone in his room, tears sometimes dropped on his pillow. God, he whispered, did I hear wrong? One morning, Mr. Okori gathered the workers. I have good news, he said. Everyone smiled. I am promoting Ikechukwu, he announced. Chinedu's heart stopped. Ikechukwu was new. He was lazy. He insulted customers. He arrived late. But he was promoted. Chinedu clapped politely. Inside, his heart broke. Later that day, Chinedu passed by the office and heard laughter. That boy is too faithful, Mr. Okori said, laughing. People like him are easy to use. Chinedu froze. His chest burned. The words felt like knives. The walk home in silence. That night, Chinedu walked home slowly through the streets of Enugu. The city lights shone. People laughed. Music played. But inside him, everything was quiet. He reached his room and sat on the floor. Tears came freely. I did everything right, he whispered. After that night of tears, Chinedu returned to work the next morning. He did not shout. He did not complain. He did not change his face. But something inside him was broken. He still arrived early at Okori Electronics, still cleaned the shop, and still spoke politely to customers. But his heart was no longer light. Every smile now carried pain behind it. One afternoon, Mr. Ifeanyi Okori called Chinedu. Come, he said sharply. Chinedu followed him into the office. You have been asking too many questions, Mr. Okori said. Chinedu lowered his head. I only wanted to understand my future, sir. Mr. Okori laughed. Future, he repeated. You should be grateful you are even working here. Chinedu felt something tear inside his chest. So, the promise, he asked quietly. Mr. Okori waved his hand. Forget it. Life is not about promises. Those words crushed Chinedu. He realized the truth. There was never a plan. There was never a future. There was only use. All the late nights. All the honesty. All the loyalty. They meant nothing to Mr. Okari. As if the pain was not enough, Mr. Okari spoke loudly so others could hear. You think honesty will feed you, he said. This is business. Workers laughed softly. Chinedu felt ashamed. But he said nothing. That evening, Chinedu removed his apron slowly. He folded it neatly. He placed the shop keys on the counter. Thank you for everything, sir, he said calmly. Mr. Okari scoffed. Go. There are many like you. Chinedu walked out without looking back. That night, Chinedu sat in his room. He thought of giving up. But then he remembered his values. I will not change who I am, he whispered. After leaving Okari Electronics, life became very quiet for Chinedu. Too quiet. No morning rush. No shop noise. No customers calling his name. For the first time in many years, Chinedu woke up with nowhere to go. He sat on his bed and stared at the wall. God, he whispered, what next? Days passed. Chinedu searched for work, but it was not easy. Many shop owners wanted cheap labor, not honest workers. Some promised pay and never paid. Others treated him badly. Still, Chinedu refused to steal. He refused to lie. He refused to change. Sometimes, hunger knocked hard. One hot afternoon in Enugu, Chinedu was walking past Ogbeat Market when he heard a familiar voice. Chinedu. He turned. It was Pa Emeka Nwoy. The old man stood there, leaning on his walking stick, smiling gently. My son, Pa Emeka said, I have been looking for you. Chinedu was surprised. You remembered me, sir? Pa Emeka nodded. How can I forget an honest boy? They sat under a tree. Pa Emeka spoke slowly. I watched you for years, he said. I saw how you treated customers. I saw how you returned money. I saw how you worked like the shop was yours. Chinedu listened quietly. I own a small electronics warehouse, Pa Emeka continued. I need someone I can trust. Chinedu's heart raced. I want you to manage a new branch for me. Chinedu could not speak. Tears filled his eyes. Pa Emeka placed his hand on Chinedu's shoulder. I don't help people because they are smart, he said. I help them because they are honest. Chinedu bowed his head. Thank you, sir. That day, hope returned. The next morning, Chinedu woke up before the sun again. But this time, he was not going to Okari Electronics. He was going somewhere new. His heart beat fast as he prepared. He wore his clean shirt, combed his hair carefully, and whispered a prayer. God, thank you for remembering me. Pa Emeka Nwoy took Chinedu to a small shop at the edge of Enugu. This will be your starting point, the old man said. The shop was not big. But it was clean. And it was real. Chinedu touched the counter gently, like a man touching a dream. From the first day, Chinedu worked like the shop belonged to him. He opened early. He closed late. He treated every customer with respect. He refused to sell fake goods. He explained products honestly. He fixed small problems without charging extra. Customers noticed immediately. This boy is different, they said. Word spread. More customers came. Sales increased. Pa Emeka smiled quietly. Good, he said. Very good. After some time, Pa Emeka called Chinedu. You have proven yourself, he said. He handed Chinedu documents. This shop is now yours. Chinedu cried openly. The new electronics store stood proudly along a busy road in Enugu. A bright signboard hung above the entrance. Inside, the shop was clean and well arranged. Phones shined on glass shelves. Televisions played quietly. Customers filled the space with soft chatter. Behind the counter stood Chinedu. Calm. Confident. Respected. People greeted him warmly. Good afternoon, Oga Chinedu. Thank you, sir. God bless your business. Chinedu smiled and nodded politely. One afternoon, a man walked into the shop. He wore a cap pulled low. His steps were slow. His eyes moved around the store in shock. It was Mr. Ifeanyi Okori. At first, Chinedu did not recognize him. Then their eyes met. Time stopped. Mr. Okori's face changed. He looked at the signboard again. He looked at the shop. He looked at Chinedu. You, he whispered. Chinedu nodded calmly. Welcome, sir, he said politely. How can I help you? Mr. Okori could not speak. This was the boy he ignored. The boy he used. The boy he betrayed. Now, that boy was the owner. Chinedu did not mock him. He did not smile wickedly. He simply treated him like every other customer. Please take a seat, Chinedu said. Mr. Okori felt small. Mr. Okori's heart burned with regret. He remembered the envelope of money. He remembered the promise. He remembered the betrayal. He left quietly. That night, Chinedu closed his shop later than usual. The streets of Enugu were calm. The noise of the market had faded. Only the sound of distant cars and night insects filled the air. Chinedu sat alone inside his store. The lights were still on. He looked around slowly. The clean shelves. The shining phones. The signboard outside bearing his name. For a long time, he said nothing. He remembered his small room. His cracked walls. His tired legs. His tears. He remembered the envelope of money. The heavy promise. The betrayal. And he remembered Pa Emeka Woy. Chinedu bowed his head. Thank you, God, he whispered. Chinedu decided something that night. He would not become like Mr. Ifeanyi Okori. When he hired workers, he paid them fairly. When he made promises, he kept them. When someone made a mistake, he corrected with kindness. People noticed. This man is different, they said. Across the city, Mr. Okori lay awake in his house. Sleep refused to come. He kept seeing Chinedu's face. Calm. Successful. Respectful. Regret filled his heart. 1 week later, Mr. Okori returned. He stood in front of Chinedu. I was wrong, he said quietly. Chinedu nodded. I forgive you, he replied. Chinedu stood tall in Enugu. He had clean hands. And because of that, life lifted him.